everyone, and welcome to New Consciousness Review. I'm Miriam Knight. Our guest today is Dr. Irina Matveikova. Irina is licensed in medicine, endocrinology, and clinical nutrition by the University of Minsk in Belarus, and she's a certified expert in eating disorders behavior. She's done postgraduate work in natural and holistic medicine. Irina is an internationally recognized teacher and lecturer in digestive health and functional nutrition, and she combines natural and conventional approaches to treatment. Dr. Matveikova is in the forefront of this field in Spain, where she lives, and today we're going to discuss her book, Digestive Intelligence, A Holistic View of Your Second Brain. Welcome, Irina. I'm so delighted to be speaking to you.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to be in your program. Thank you for inviting me.
Now tell me, why do you call the intestines our second brain?
Sounds remarkable, but our digestive system has a very sophisticated design and has its own intelligence. We know, all of us, that we sometimes have this gut feeling, and sounds very big, but inside of gut we have a second brain. And I refer to a gut neuronal center. We have an extensive network of neurons located between two muscular layers of the walls of digestive system. In medicine, we call enteric nervous system, or ENS. And this structure, this network, has absolutely same identical neurons which we have in our high brain.
Mm-hmm. I was actually amazed to read in your book that we have more neurons in our gut than we have in our spinal cord.
Yes, according to new scientific data, the total number of neurons found in a small intestine is more than 100 millions. It's really a huge network.
Mm-hmm. So it's no surprise that we really do get a lot of feedback from our gut, as well as influencing it from what goes on in our lives.
Exactly, because both of our brain produce similar chemical molecules, neurotransmitters and hormones, and those vital substances regulate our mood and emotions and physiological well-being. They are a group of essential molecules which ensure correct communication between all body cells. And on the top of this news, it seems like the second brain, the digestive brain, it's our pipeline for the production and storing of these neurotransmitters. So the presence of such a wide variety of neurotransmitters in our digestive system, this is a very clear indication that it is rich, complex, and has its own language and own emotions, and can suffer own neurosis.
In fact, when people suffer from depression, they take substances called SSRIs, which are serotonin reuptake inhibitors. And you write that 90% of serotonin is actually created in the gut. That's astonishing.
That's right, and this is promising because our gut brain produces a whole sea of serotonin, and with those medicines, those drugs, these serotonin reuptake inhibitors you refer, we regulate only 10% of our serotonin capacity, and it's said to improve the patient's mood and control depression. Would you imagine if we can take advantage of this valuable resource we have in a belly? So this is a challenge task for researchers, but we can already now start learning about our gut feelings and try to stimulate our potential of this happy hormone.
Right. So, we are in a almost epidemic of growing disturbances of the gut. I think of IBS, of Crohn's disease, celiac. They're becoming so widespread, even in our children. Why do you think that is happening now?
Wow, this is very good questions, and it's I can talk hours about it. But you are right, digestive pathology grows with a quantic speed in our Western world. And today, I would say every second adult suffers from some digestive troubles or upset. And we cannot stop it. It's a lot of epidemic diseases, chronic diseases we are registering in medicine. That's for sure. I can say that many digestive problems can be explained by the malfunctioning of the second brain, or by interference in its communication with the higher brain. Always, any digestive upset or pathology always has emotional component and physical one. And before we discovered second brain, we did not pay attention to emotional representation, to the emotional manifestation of our gut. And now we are talking about this more seriously, and we are treating this.
Mm-hmm. And how are we going about treating it?
Well, in the intestine, we have we can say the internal and external reality meets. We have the aspects of our personality. It used to say that our second brain is more authentic, more sincere, because it's escape control, social regulation. It is very intimate feeling where could be hidden fears, memories, obsessions. We need to unlock this. So from the pure medical point of view, we are talking about that it is psycho-emotional disease or state, and it's psychologists and therapists try to relax, try to accommodate emotions we are hiding in our belly. But from the holistic point of view, we need to assume that the gut, it is center of energy. We need to respect and maybe to be back to the books of natural medicine, to the Oriental philosophy, which says that we need to be gut-centered, to be in contact with our internal energy. It is in Chinese medicine, traditional medicine, we say that it is center of being, or sea of qi. So when we put emotions, when we increase tension inside of our digestive system, well, it manifests with physical disorders. So such as small steps like meditation, correct breathing, relaxation, even 2-3 days of good healthy diet, and immediately digestive system gets thankful and gets better. It has a remarkable capacity, plasticity to recover. So we just need to learn to listen to our gut, and to learn to interpret its signals, and what it means, what this pain means, what this bloating means. And this is challenging from my point of view. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I explain myself.
Yes, indeed. You covered a lot. We might want to break that down into subsections, because I know that, we in the Western world are always looking
Yes.
for quick fixes. So you describe patients, who have, let's say, constipation, and then they start taking laxatives, and they get dependent on them. But that only treats the symptoms. It doesn't really restore the intestines to good health. And you take a very broad, holistic, integrative approach to all the different factors that affect our intestinal health, and our intestinal health affects our general health and our emotions. There's this feedback loop that you describe that I think most of us are not aware of. We always look to treat the symptoms instead of the underlying causes. So let's start with, what are the basics of good intestinal health? You talk about things as simple as fiber, for example.
Yeah, in my professional opinion, the future is, as you said, not in symptomatic treatment. Future is in education and prevention. Each of us has to discover our own health potential, learn how we function, and question what is causing this health problem. Let's be curious about how we design how to take care and prevent. Because doesn't exist unified formula of diet, exercise, or magic pill. We have to be self-aware and regularly perform a technical inspection of our life vehicle. I always start any recommendation, any treatment. It's like initiation with detox, with detoxify body and nourish liver, nourish all digestive system, and I insert those programs and I offer those programs to the people, and I talk about this in my book. Digestive health, it's not only health eating, and we also don't know what it is health eating. It's very confusing, all this amount of diets. But as you said, where to start? To start with good digestive cleansing, is to say to be sure that what we consume, what we are eating, what we are drinking, and what the toxins we are producing should be eliminated from the body appropriately, in time, and completely. And if it's not so, to help with some fiber, with some oils, with probiotics, with 1 or 2 days of special diet filled with juice, with vegetables and fruits. It's not that complicated. Sometimes we're afraid. We say, oh no, when I will be having more time, I will do it. It's just 2 or 3 days per month or per week, as much as you can contribute to digestive system. But that would be a very, very important step to obtain very nice cleansing and nourishing with fiber and probiotic. That I would recommend to everybody.
Mm-hmm. You point out that the digestive tract is like a tube that needs to be kept clean so that we can actually absorb the nutrients from our diet. And you're a great proponent of colonics. In fact, I was very amused when you described King Louis XIV's passion for them. Actually, why don't you share that with our listeners? The thought of having somebody blow liquid into his anus through a gold tube is just too precious to...
Yes, that's how history of the describe us, but this is logic, because we overeat, and in modern society we keep to be overeating and with quite and not moving enough. So even good stuff, good food, in high quality, in bigger quantity, when we consume and not waste this energy, it can turn to be toxic. So we have chronic toxemia. We always are storing in our body some products which are already they are waste of the food, toxins, bacteria, some liquids. So we cannot change our life. We like to eat, so maybe we need to do something time by time to ensure that all these tubes are clean and keep working well. Mm-hmm. And we know, all of us, while starting from this historical moments which I describe in a book, and you mentioned about this, that when we're retaining waste materials, when we're retaining liquids, when we don't move enough and eat quite a lot of different food, we feel very heavy, very slow, irritated, lazy and sleepy. So these are symptoms so general that we always say, okay, this is tiredness or whatever. No, this is already first symptoms of toxic overload. So why not we help ourselves? So as we cannot obtain everyday exercise, everyday fiber, and really moderation in eating, I propose to remember this antique tool as a colonic cleansing. And actually now is growing interest to this treatment again, because in 1 hour you can get this detoxifying cleansing from inside. That is amazing. I mean, like, this is really good treatment to consider when you cannot carry with very healthy lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So this is very profound irrigation with water. It is not dangerous. It is it should be very accurately and softly done, but it allows to eliminate a lot of toxic materials. That's why, and it is after this treatment, patient responds so well to any diet, any supplement, any medicine, if it's precise, because absorption is excellent and everybody referred to the feeling of well-being. So that's why I cannot ignore it. It exists. It's not cure by itself, but it's excellent tool in treatment, in prevention, because also in congresses, in medical congresses, we say that the toxic materials can provoke cancer. So if we just get rid of these toxic materials regularly, once a year, we prevent it. So isn't it simple?
Absolutely. You describe the modern lifestyle when you're in a rush, under stress, you don't have time to actually sit quietly and go to the bathroom. So these waste materials just build up and build up in your colon. You had diagrams of the most extraordinary deviations of the colon from their normal path. Due to things like excess fat pushing them, abdominal fat pushing them out of the way. And I guess if they're not in this kind of symmetrical loop, that pushing the waste out is even more difficult. So I can imagine that the colonics would be very helpful. You talk about people having emotional releases.
That's really beautiful. This is fantastic. I mean, like, not every, as I'm working in traditional environment, but I believe in everything. I'm very open to any medicines, any philosophies. And I believe that we have energy flow in a gut. I believe in meridians of the, I believe in acupuncture and Chinese medicine and Japanese art of healing. So I know that cleansing of digestive system, because it's huge, it's really very easy, can be saturated, and it's also provoke this flow of the energy, and people really get more positive, more, and they just exclaim that, okay, I feel so happy. I could take decision. I see more clear things, or I sleep better. And this is wonderful to hear. I always say, whatever you enjoy it or no, or you suffer doing this detox program, detoxifying of your digestive system, but you always gain. Because the only you eliminate is waste material, so you are not losing anything which you would need. And people really getting better emotionally. You are right, absolutely.
Now, you write that about 50% of our feces is made up of bacteria and their subproducts. Tell us about these little critters and what's their importance.
I tell you that I'm amazed, and every day in new science. I just came back from Miami from the next Congress, which was dedicated only for gut microbiota. The opinion leaders of the United States and other countries in digestive health gathered together, and during 4 days were talking only about those bacteria. Because we are more bacteria than human. We have 10 times more bacteria inside of our body than our own cells. And now we are talking, I'm astonished of the latest news how our intestinal microbiota if affects strongly to anything possible and everything which is related to our health. Now we are talking that we use sequences of the genome of the bacteria in order to be healthy. That soon, very soon, probably we will get our bacterial identification code as if it would be proper, unique digital signature. We are so much depending from those bacteria that from them depend if we are toxic or no, if we will be depressed, if we will have cancer. Even now we are talking about influence of bacteria to mood and cognitive functions. It is a fast-growing science, and we need just observe this science and read new discovery. But right now I propose already to take care about balance in our ecology, intestinal ecology. It's very important we will have good bacteria inside. And also it's very important it will not overgrow. So when it is constipation and slow elimination of the waste material, and as you said, half of the visible feces is bacteria. So they multiply, they grow, in our digestive system, and it could bring harm to our health.
I was surprised that you said that the principal food for these bacteria is actually insoluble fiber.
Exactly. That is why we need to be clear about what is fiber, what kind of the fiber we should be eating, and how to understand it, because it's very general recommendation. You should eat more fiber, but what is this? Where we have fiber? More in fruit, more in vegetables and grain. And many people complain that they cannot eat it because they feel very bloated and very heavy. So, but it is art to combine in diet different fiber. And because when we eat just fruit and vegetables, we digest it, we use it for us. But those good bacteria need also some insoluble, this combination of two types of the fiber in order to be healthy and to eat as well.
So give us some examples of both soluble fiber and insoluble fiber, and what do the two do differently?
It's very curious. For example, we all, probably you know absolutely that the general recommendation is to be healthy, to prevent cancer of colon and to prevent cholesterol raise, you need to eat fiber. And the recommendation is from 20 to 25 grams of fiber per day. But these recommendations means pure fiber, which gets to intestine. And to give you an example, to get 2 grams of the pure fiber, which will end feeding our good bacteria, for that you need to eat 2 kilos of fresh vegetables. So we are really confused. We think that with 1 portion of the salad, we are done, but it's not true. That's why the soluble fiber is vegetable and fruit, because it has water and it's easily can be easily digested by and assimilated by our own body. And only minimal part of vegetable and fruit fiber, which is just skin of some of this type of the vegetables and fruits, we are not processing, and we give it to our bacteria, to say simply. So it's not enough. So we need to add some non-soluble fiber, which could be which proceed from grain. It could be wild rice, it could be whole grain cereals, but in a very moderate amount, because those kinds of foods and this kind of fiber we are not able to digest. So it goes like a brush, it goes like cleaning from the mouth to the end, and our bacteria take advantage of those ones. So we always need to combine something from grain, from legumes, from cereals, combining with lots of vegetables and some fruit, but I'm not really recommending to eat too much fruit.
Mm-hmm. So you also recommend things like psyllium and flax seed.
Yeah, this is because that's exactly, I try to give answers to the busy people, because obviously we cannot eat every day 2 kilos of vegetables, and sometimes it's no time or no wish to eat it. So the supplements with psyllium husk seeds, with flax seeds, it is more concentrated and more ready to nourish our digestive mucus and our bacteria, good bacteria in the intestine. So I always recommend to take at least 2-3 grams of psyllium per day diluted in water.
So that is what, like 2 teaspoons or tablespoons?
It is like one. Yes, it is 1 teaspoon. Little bit. 1 teaspoon. It is like 5 grams. Yeah, it's half of teaspoon or teaspoon a day, diluted in water. This is minimum that we need to prevent and to nourish. Mm-hmm. If somebody has problem with constipation or with bloating or with slow function of digestion, it could be double. It could be like a tablespoon soup. Mm-hmm. And flax seeds, it's very easy to get in water because when you leave it in water, it gets more,
like a gel.
Mm-hmm. Like a gel, exactly. So this is really, really important nourishment for us. It has a property to calm and to regenerate anything which has to be regenerated in all these long digestive path we are having.
Mm-hmm. Now, you describe some of the problems that can occur when the intestines do not get proper nutrition, and you get a toxic buildup, and you get something called leaky gut syndrome. Tell us how that happens. And what
exactly. This is very important problem. And it is also a topic of the conventional medicine, not only holistic and complementary medicine. It means that when I always try to explain simple to my patients, and when you have toxic material stuck to your very gentle mucous layer of your digestive system, it is permanent irritation, and it is permanent saturation, and it's this permanent attack of more acidic, more aggressive material, because with time, being there stuck in our belly, it gets more acidic and more aggressive and more filled with bad bacteria. So when it is permanent irritation without cleaning nor neither healing, the mucus, this is very fine layer of our digestive mucus, it gets like small holes. It gets leaky. So from these small holes, it's some part of toxins, some part of bacteria, of fungi, from protozoa, can trespass easily to the blood flow. And from there we can start with allergy, with food intolerance, with different general health problems, arthritis or autoimmune problems. And because the immune system of our blood, it is overloaded with new molecules entering, and it needs to defend from anything which is new, and when it is door open and toxins can trespass to the blood, it affects everything, all the body and even mind, even brain, and it's especially very strongly manifest in small kids, in children. So we need to close this inflammation, to repair, to regenerate this barrier. And because we are like hollow inside of us, it is external world, not internal, which is inside of digestive tube. There are food, bacteria. This is not us. We need to be protected from this digestive lumen. And when it is leaky, it is really a problem. And now in medicine, we are talking that leaky gut syndrome could be reason of asthma, of arthritis, of lupus, of eczema, psoriasis, and many other things. And that is very important to return to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is your digestive health. Is this the way you are eating, the way you are taking care about digestive function? And this is really a very holistic point of view, which I observe now in conventional medicine, because now even traditional and classical doctors, they know when it is asthma, when it is a very strong allergic problem or autoimmune problem, they already know that we need to go to the gut and we need to prescribe probiotics and we need to talk about diet. And this is lovely. This is it's great, because before we were few doctors talking about holistic medicine, and now I think all the medicines is changing. And leaky gut syndrome gets to be topic, and this is very, very important complication of the toxic accumulation in our gut, in our colon, in our large intestine. So we have to clean it. We have to clean it and to nourish it and to really be conscious about what we are eating and how often we are going to go to the bathroom and how we are going to teach our kids to do it. This is future, and this is modern medicine.
Yes. Just a while ago, we interviewed Dr. Len Saputo, whose wife was suffering from leaky gut syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this was probably about 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And modern medicine had nothing to offer her. And that was what put him on the road to alternative medicine.
Well, maybe I'm too optimistic, but I of course, it's not that revolutionary change in modern medicine, but I'm so happy to observe that more and more classical doctors accept, and I tell you that's again this example of this International Congress of American Association of Gastroenterology in Miami last month, and we were talking about leaky gut syndrome. So we are raising this topic. We are talking about this among the doctors, so it will be soon accepted. But this is huge problem, and still, you are right. Solution, it is more alternatives and more complementary than conventional one.
And in fact, I like the term integrative because this is something that you do. You integrate the best of alternative medicine with conventional medicine. The good news is that, as you point out in your book, this barrier in our intestine between the outside world and us can regenerate itself within 4 or 5 days. Is that right?
Exactly. It has incredible plasticity and capacity to heal itself, to regenerate. It's amazing. It just ask us, just do a little bit for me, do something for me, and then I will answer. Yeah, it's lovely, because that's why people really nice detoxifying and diet, and they are already better. As it's very nice system in terms of capacity to regenerate, to heal, to close all these small wounds and ulcers or whatever it has after treatment. It's really nice to work with this system.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about the connection between toxicity and cancer. How does that happen?
Well, we have like 1,500 different different type of bacteria and in our digestive system, and there are some good, some are not so good. With some of bacteria, we are having symbiosis and we have good collaboration, and other one doing some harm to us, and we are fighting them. But each strain produce some toxic materials and also the rest of the meat, the rest of the fat we were eating is, once it is in colon, in large intestine mixed with bacteria, it gets decayed, it gets very toxic. So those toxins can normally are absorbed and captured by liver to be detoxified, to be not spread it all over the body, and then to be eliminated with bile. This is our system. Our liver is the main factory and main filter to stop any toxic internal or external molecules which could make some harm or provoke some mutation of the cells like cancer. But sometimes the load of the toxic material external because of bad eating and internal because of overproduction of proper toxic byproducts of bacteria. It is so huge load of all these toxins that liver cannot do all this work so perfectly. And when toxins escape liver control, they can be accumulated in a lymphatic vessels. And this is dangerous because, for example, in the breast, we have a lot of lymphatic vessels, and in different parts of the body. If in lymphatic vessels we accumulate too much of toxins for too long time, this could be triggering point for start of cancer. Mm-hmm. So what we propose also to take care about the liver, and sometimes to nourish it and to stimulate this bile flow in order all these toxins will go out. And there is you did good comments that still complementary medicine is leading in many things, because I was in one of the congress dedicated to breast cancer, and it was some medical reports, that in lymphatic liquid of the women with breast cancer was found toxins of intestinal bacteria. And from 2,000 women of some of clinical study, they found out that more than half of these women were suffering from chronic constipation. So now we see the very clear link. We can have some genetic predisposition, we can have some family history, but it's not karmic. It's all depend how we live, how we take care, how we detoxify ourselves. So intestinal toxemia could lead not only to cancer of colon, which is direct influence, but to any other chronic degenerative disease as cancer it is. So it is very important to see connection between gut health, gut cleansing, and general quality of life.
Mm-hmm. That is fascinating. Now, you mentioned in your book many different ways of detoxifying. You talk about colonics, which we've already discussed, but there are also things like saunas, sweating through the skin. Yeah. Deep breathing is a great way of detoxifying. You mentioned at the beginning, and you close your book with a chapter on breathing. Tell us about the importance of breathing. What does it do for our digestion?
It is so simple and so amazing that we don't know how to do it. And actually, it is exercise which relax you, which really provide very intensive and very rich blood flow and exchange of all oxygen in abdominal area. And you don't want when you do abdominal breathing, it's like a kind of small meditation, because you need to be focused, or mindfulness if you want. You need to be focused on this flow of the air, if it would be flow of the energy or of some liquid, you need to visualize it. But once you're breathing consciously, focusing in every movement, but just 10 minutes, it means that you're moving very carefully down and up the diaphragm. So you're doing like internal massage and activate internally all the digestive system, and not only, because inside of the abdominal area we have also kidneys, we have also other organs, reproductive system organs, urinary system. So we are just with all these waves of muscular movements and slow breathing, we activate blood flow, and we do like internal massage, I repeat you. Mm-hmm. And we promote motility, we promote this movement, soft movement of all this digestive tube, long tube we are having inside. So this is very healthy to promote digestion, to promote all the toxic materials from up to down, all the gases, and it is relaxing. When in case of spasms and colics, it is really relaxing, and it's just 10 minutes, couple of times per day, or at least once per day. It works. Just to insert it in your life like small ritual. Not to do it once and say it doesn't work. No, I always encourage people to do it at least 3 weeks in a row in order really we can say it works.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and you mention when you make any dietary changes or any of the improvements that you suggest in your book, to give it time, because your digestive problems didn't happen overnight. How much time do you think people will see a difference?
I always try to ask for 1 month or for 3 weeks, and at least 1 month, because it is like to create new routine, a new reflex, which we normally create when we are small kids. We don't know when to eat, we don't know when to sleep, but our parents teach us that it's midday, it is lunchtime, and then we know that during midday we want to eat. It's like everything was created, like conditioned, it was educated. So I ask to educate your digestive muscles, your digestive system, and to coordinate those two brains in order they will know this is time to go to bathroom, this is time to eat, this is time to relax, to breathe, or to sleep. The body loves to know its agenda, to work by hours. Even last studies, it's a little bit out of the subject, but regarding sleeping and insomnia, it's very important to go sleep the same hour, and not that important the amount of hours, because body knows that at 10 in the evening it's my time to rest. So if you sleep less hours, but you go to the bed at the same time, or you eat at the same time, or you go to the bathroom to clean and to evacuate everything which needs to be from your, you have your bowel movement at the same time, this is perfect. So for that you need to have discipline, at least 1 month.
Interesting. So this is getting your body into a routine so that it knows what to expect. So what would be 1 or 2 top things that we can do now for ourselves to improve our digestive health?
I think it's very interesting to first of all, to be more attentive, because we really never ignore when we have chest pain, because we know that's better I will not ignore it because it's chest pain. But when it is colic or gas or some pain in stomach, we say, okay, it's nothing. It's just stress. It's just I was eating too fast. So, but I encourage people to observe feeling. What my gut is telling me, why I have this problem right now, what I did, what I ate, with whom I was. It's just to start to observe personal character of your digestive brain, of your second brain, and even to have small diary. If you are bad because you are eating with your, mother-in-law, or if you are upset, you have more gases. And then you will be just introducing yourself to your other self. It's just to meet to your two realities and two personalities. And to just to put it in some diary, and then in 1-2 weeks you will be really surprised that there is some code, some language which your digestive system has. And I really encourage people to take time by time probiotics, because there are very few people in this modern world who has really balanced microbiota. So some probiotic always help, always increase transit, increase movement of the digestive system, and helps to absorb better and to digest better. So maybe 3 months per year to take some probiotic supplements and to start now. That could be also good advice. And maybe what we were talking with you about fiber intake, just to look into your diet and to say, am I really taking fiber, or it is just small portion of salad or one apple and I'm thinking I'm done. Just to be more open, more curious, to experiment, not to take it as one obligation more. Just not, I don't know, to have it like a fun maybe. Those small steps.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic advice. What is your website?
Now we just open new website for English speaking public, which is like my name, irinamatveikova.com. And it is linked to my Spanish website. So once you are in this site, irinamatveikova.com, and if you speak Spanish and want to see our activity in Spain, it will be very easy to find a link. But in general, new website is irinamatveikova.com.
I think we need to spell that. It's IRINAMATV for Victor, EIKOVA.com.
Thank you.
Irina Matveikova, the author of Digestive Intelligence, A Holistic View of Your Second Brain. It has been a pleasure to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Pleasure is mine. Thank you too.
Next week, our guest will be Nomi Bahar talking about her book, Gates of Power. And now we're going to go out on a very upbeat track from John Miller from Nashville, Tennessee. It's called Go Ahead and Laugh About It Now. John Miller with Go Ahead and Laugh About It Now from his album The Next Big Twang. John is a member of the Positive Music Association, and you can find his profile on their site at positivemusicassociation.com. Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll visit us at ncreview.com in the meantime. But until next week, I'm Miriam Knight for New Consciousness Review. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.